The moment I saw her laugh at his joke, something in my chest twisted. It wasn't the kind of laugh she gave me anymore. Hers had become quieter, restrained, like she was saving her real joy for someone else. But at that party, under the golden light of our host's chandelier, Emily tilted her head back, her hand brushing his arm, and let out a laugh so full it cut through the music. I tried to dismiss it. Married couples go through phases, I told myself. But deep down I already knew. The setup. The party was supposed to be a celebration. Our friends Mark and Sarah were renewing their vows after 20 years together. The room was buzzing with love, stories, and laughter. People toasted to long marriages, the endurance of loyalty. And me. I stood there with a glass of champagne, watching my wife drift further away from me by the minute. Emily had always been magnetic. Warm smile, quick wit, the kind of energy that pulled people in. It was one of the reasons I fell for her. But lately I felt like an outsider to that glow. At home she was tired, distracted, quick to criticize. But that night she came alive, just not for me. The man's name was Daniel. Tall, well-groomed, too charming for his own good. I knew him vaguely through mutual friends. He wasn't anyone special to me. Until I saw the way Emily's hand lingered on his shoulder. The breaking point. I approached them, forcing a smile. "Everything good over here?" Yes. Daniel gave me that easy grin. "We were just talking about the band. Emily says you used to play guitar." Her cheeks flushed. "Oh, it was nothing. Just a hobby he gave up." That stung. She used to beg me to play for her. Now she dismissed it like it was a nuisance. I swallowed the anger and said, "Yeah, I quit when life got busy." But Daniel leaned closer to her and murmured something. She laughed again, softer this time, almost secretive. I felt invisible. As the night wore on, I tried to pull her back into my orbit. I asked her to dance. She shook her head, saying she was tired. Minutes later, I saw her swaying to the music, with Daniel. That was when the truth hit me like a slap across the face. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was the man she tolerated while she searched for someone else. The betrayal. The party ended around midnight. People hugged, exchanged goodbyes, called cabs. I went to grab our coats, expecting her to be at the door. She wasn't. I searched the living room, the kitchen, the patio. Nothing. Finally, I spotted her in the driveway. She was leaning against Daniel's car, her hand sliding along the roof as if tracing his path. He opened the passenger door for her. "Emily!" I called, my voice sharp enough to cut. She froze. For a second I thought guilt might bring her back. But then she straightened, glanced at me with something between defiance and indifference, and said, "I'll see you later." And she got into his car. I stood there, coat in hand, feeling my chest cave in. The sound of the engine starting was like a nail being hammered into my heart. The long night. I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room, lights dim, staring at the door that never opened. My mind was a storm. Memories of our wedding day, the vows we made, the first home we bought. All of it felt like ash now. By dawn, the hurt had curdled into something else. Clarity. I couldn't beg. I couldn't chase. But I could make sure that if she wanted out, she would regret the way she left. My revenge. When Emily finally came home, sunlight spilling through the windows, she looked startled to find me awake. "You're up early," she said, voice casual, as if she hadn't disappeared all night. I didn't answer. I simply slid my phone across the table. On the screen was a picture I had taken. Her laughing with Daniel at the party. His hand at the small of her back. Her face drained of color. "You were spying on me." "No," I said flatly. "I was watching my wife betray me in plain sight." For a moment, silence hung between us. Then she snapped. "You're overreacting. We just talked. I needed some space." "Space? You left with another man." My voice broke. "Do you even hear yourself?" Her lips trembled, but she didn't apologize. She just looked cornered. And that was when I knew she wasn't sorry. She had already chosen him. That night, while she slept in the guest room, I set my plan in motion. plan. We had joint accounts, shared investments, a house under both our names. I wasn't going to let her walk out and leave me shattered while she played happy with Daniel. The next morning I visited my lawyer. By noon I had frozen our accounts, rerouted my paycheck to a private one, and filed for divorce citing infidelity. Then I made one last move. Emily worked at a marketing firm where reputation mattered more than anything. I didn't blast her publicly. No, I was colder than that. I sent a private email to her boss with the photos, a timeline, and a polite note. I thought you should know how she represents herself at professional events. The confrontation. When Emily found out, she stormed into my office at home, face red with rage. "You ruined me," she screamed. "Do you know what you've done?" I looked her dead in the eye. "No, Emily. You ruined us. I just made sure you felt it." Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't feel pity. For months, maybe years, I had been giving, forgiving, trying. And she had chosen to walk away. "You'll regret this," she whispered. "Maybe," I said, my voice quiet, steady. "But at least I'll regret it alone. You'll regret it every day with him, knowing what you lost." The aftermath. Weeks passed. Papers were signed. The house went to me. She couldn't afford to fight without access to our joint money. Her firm demoted her, then quietly let her go. Word spread faster than she expected. And Daniel, he didn't stick around. A man like him never does. By the time the divorce was finalized, she was already alone. One night she called me. Her voice was small, broken. "Can we talk? I miss you." I closed my eyes, letting the silence stretch. Once, those words would have undone me. But now they meant nothing. "No, Emily," I said finally. "You miss the life I gave you. Not me." And I hung up. The ending. People think revenge is about rage, about getting even. But for me it was about clarity. I didn't need to scream, didn't need to chase. I just needed to remind her, and myself, that I had worth. That I wasn't someone to discard at a party like an old coat. I never got my wife back. But I got something better. Got my dignity. And every time I see her name pop up on my phone unanswered, I remember the night she chose another man. And the night I finally chose myself.